Welcome back to the bag. Welcome back to SBS Live this week in the final episode of our Blackout Lights 3-part extravaganza. We are going to finish off one excellent interview here on the show today with Steve, Jon, and Rob from Blackout Lights. In addition to that, we will get to videos from some live footage out there around Vancouver right now with recent shows from Aeterna, as well as the recent show that just happened over this past weekend with This Day Burns. As I've mentioned over part 1 and part 2, this conversation, these performances from Blackout Lights have been nothing short of fantastic, and I'm excited to get back to the interview. So without further ado, this is Blackout Lights part 3 on SBS Live this week. Tell me about success, Blackout Lights. Tell me about, does it necessarily mean being snatched up by a major record label while you're here in Vancouver? Is that what it is? Is that going to lead you to it? Do you need it at all? What's the opinion?
I don't.
Mike.
Simple answer?
Simple answer.
Yes, no.
I don't think major labels really play much. The only thing that you can get from major labels that you can't get anywhere else is the mass promotion and distribution, right?
Yeah.
So, when you get into that, but I've read, about local bands like Hey Ocean signed a 2-song deal, like a single.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so they're not really doing even full albums with indie bands. They're testing them with singles to see how well the single does. Not that anybody, I think it's a digital single as well, right? So people download it, but. The landscape has totally changed. I mean, I learned that so much because I moved out here in 2005, took the audio production school, worked in the studio, and realized that just, it's more going to smaller, project-based studios and where people have them in the basements of their houses, and and it's a great.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
But
it's a great thing because now it's allowed. There's two different things that technology and the internet has kind of done to this whole landscape. Is that part of it has kind of devalued what it's worth, because people download shit for free all the time.
For sure.
But the other half of it is that people can get professional sounding stuff at home, or in a nice little studio like this. And it's not a crazy huge room like the Armory or somewhere like that,
right? The Bryan Adams studio.
And I think that the major label bands, the big ones, I don't know how many of those type of bands, with the diversification of the internet and just how many bands there are out there. I don't know how many U2s and even Coldplays. Like, I think they're kind of the last of that worldwide giant band status, right?
Yeah, I think it'll be somebody, but I don't know if you'll need
right.
Like, I don't think for me to get signed, I think I agree with the distribution and the marketing, but you won't get rich.
No.
You could probably get more rich. I remember when Prince
bands
did his
more money independently these days.
When Prince did his one album or something where he
he gave the album away free with the concert tickets, so it ended up being the best-selling album of the year or something.
No, but he did I think the one before that even.
Because it was.
He did it himself. And it was just the symbol or whatever, and he was saying how, he's charting not really well, but his bankers are really happy because he made a ton of money because he just didn't make a small percentage of every album sale. He made a huge percentage of every album sale.
Right.
So I think especially once you get to that certain point, I don't understand. Like, I remember.
That's a better,
I think,
great road though. You know,
yeah.
he's successful at that point. And
Yeah.
then gets to go in.
But I remember it was like a few years ago.
Radiohead now too.
Yeah,
a few years ago, what were they called? There was this metal band a few years ago that signed this new type of deal, where instead of just having the Korn, that's it. Instead of just having like a traditional record contract, the record label also got a percentage of like marketing, like T-shirt sales and
merch,
concert tickets and everything. And I always think, like, once you got to that point, like, really, why do you even need to have a major label? Like, you already have your hardcore fans that
they're going to buy
no
that
matter
stuff
what. Yeah, exactly.
anyways,
Just
right?
put it out yourself.
Yeah.
You don't need to. Like, if the Beatles, if they were still alive and they like put out an album, do they really need? I mean, they already have their own label, but do they need a big label? No, people would be like, holy crap! If Led Zeppelin like reformed and said like, hey, here's an album, it would be like #1 tomorrow, and they wouldn't need to have a major label. They could be like, just put it out on the internet and sell it on like digitally, and people would like buy like crazy. Be like, oh my god, just because of the name potential, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how that whole thing with the radio stations and the payola and all that stuff, whatever, how that would come into play, but I think with certain bands, like, I don't even know why they have labels.
I just think, I don't know, for me anyways, I don't know if I speak for the other guys in the band, but for me, it's kind of always been about, I think it's way cooler to have made an impact. I don't really care about getting rich off of making music, working a regular job is fine with me. For example, a band like Mets from Toronto, who I think are fabulous, and they're getting played on the Wedge on Much Music, and they're in the NME and stuff like that. And
nice.
But they still have day jobs.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think to me it takes a while before you can shed that. But look at bands like Caius or the Pixies, where nobody really knew about them back then, and then all of a sudden turns out that they influenced and impacted quite a bit of music.
Everybody,
right?
yeah, pretty much.
So, to me, that would be cooler. I really could care less if I make money.
Right.
I don't know if I speak for the other two guys, but
Money
I think
is...
it'd be nice.
I like the music
sure.
Yeah.
To not have to work a regular day job.
It's like something the fact there is no money in music.
You want it to be able to support the art that you make, right?
Yeah, exactly.
For sure.
But, further than that, I don't expect to, be Kanye West and selling stadiums out and then canceling my shows and stuff like that, right? So we don't care about
but I don't think we really in Vancouver.
care about being big rock stars, but also for the experiences too, right? Like maybe even playing shows with bands that we really look up to. So we do try to look out for other venues like at the Biltmore and things where we'll contact whoever the promoter is and see if we can open. We haven't had a lot of luck yet, but there you go, promoters.
That's right.
If you're looking for anybody to open
to offers right here.
Yeah, we'd like to do that too. I think it would be. I played in another band before this that was kind of a psychedelic '60s band called Strange Magic, and we got to play with a band called Os Mutantes from South America, which they were.
That's wicked.
From Brazil.
Oh, really?
And we got to play with a band called Spyro Gyra from England. We went over to England and...
they're huge famous, aren't they? Like Spyro Gyra.
They were around in the 60s and for a long time. So so getting to do stuff like that
like band, no, that you opened up
was
for
very cool.
80s punk.
Us?
Didn't you guys open up for like a Styx or something like that?
Oh, we opened for the Pointed Sticks too.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Which was cool. So so being able to do stuff like that and meet other bands that are, of substantial nature too. That for me, it's all about the experience, and if we could have our piece in rock and roll history, we'd love that. That's all.
Not too much to ask.
Just if I can play music and have a piece in rock and roll history, well, I can go to bed midnight.
Yeah,
but that's good. I mean, at the end of the day, you've got a defined goal, what you want to get to. So all you can do is head towards it. Right?
Keep writing songs and see which one picks up.
I dig that. I dig that.
S B S S B S S B S.
As you've seen already in part 1 and part 2, Blackout Lights put on an epic performance here live in the studio at Sleeping Bag. Let's take another look at them doing their thing here on SBS Live this week.
Right.
shows before the end of the year, at the end of, or
We may have.
next year? What's
I
going
think.
on?
Well, I just got a message today for one on the 28th at the railway.
Actually, the thing is with shows that we're just trying to figure out like what should we do? Should we do something like, because we played over the summertime, we played like 5 or 6 shows in like 5 or 6 weeks.
So you guys were busy there.
Yeah, we were
really.
And we basically like took up
Played every
anything
place in
and
town.
picked up like some last minute stuff and then some stuff that we had been planning for months.
Yeah.
And it was so funny because every single show had a completely different reception.
Completely different vibe.
Yeah, completely different vibe. And shows you thought would be great were like sucked. Shows you thought would suck were great.
Right.
So it was really weird. So then I was trying to think like, okay, well, if I'm a fan, I want to go see a show. So I don't just want to go see like 3 or 4 bands play. I want to actually go see a show, not just like go somewhere and like, pay $10-12 and drink some beer and okay, here's some noise.
Yeah.
So I was trying to think like, should we just play less shows but do more of like some sort of like light, sound, whatever.
Well, and that's a big thing that we've been trying to figure out is like what else can we do? And we don't want to do the typical, what everybody else does, but what can we do to stand out to be,
because if you hear
a little more
bands
interesting
bio
than just 3
says,
dudes standing up there. And I think we've really focused on, and Rob would definitely attest to, tightening it up and.
Yeah, and
really
I built that box, that black box.
Yeah,
and I
exactly,
Scribed
yeah.
out Blackout Lights.
Yeah, you cut out Blackout
Carpenter
Lights.
by day, bass player by night.
And then slapped some like green
Right,
poster
right.
board in behind it and just threw some lights in the box and just kind of...
And that's the background now for you guys?
We
so
put
it's
it kind of
fun.
in
It's
front of us, so
Okay.
Rob, he's a
Kind of,
big
it's
rock
like
star,
8
he's
by-
standing on top of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Stuff, right. Nice. Right up on top of the own soapbox
just-
that you built yourself.
Just trying to figure out something that'll keep people entertained for the 30-40 minutes that we're up there and leave an impression with them.
Right.
Yeah.
So
like, every band says that they've got like a killer live, every band's got a killer live studio. So okay, fine, but it's like I've seen big bands play stadiums.
Yeah.
And all they do is they stand in front of the microphones and they got like a screen behind them. And I'm like, really? I paid like
it's
$80,
not-
$100 for
yeah,
this?
Right. I get what you mean. It's not.
Meanwhile,
the
like we're gonna go
dynamic
see,
thing, it really looks.
We're gonna go
like
see
it
Nine
might
Inch
be.
Nails on the 21st.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then I'm looking. That to me is like I don't have that budget, obviously.
No, yeah.
But that's
yeah.
like our show. That's like
It
a band
is.
that like they're not just gonna sit in front of their instruments and play them. They're just they're putting on a show. And
So we're trying to figure out something in between.
yeah, somewhere around there.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
Yeah,
between-
exactly.
Something that's going on.
Garage
so,
rock
I
and
don't
Nine Inch
know.
Nails, and between garage rock and Rob Sheridan lighting. That's what we're trying to
There you go.
figure out.
I've seen 9 Inch twice, and I've never seen explosions in the sky.
I've seen
Let
them
me tell
before
you,
actually
like,
too.
that's
I saw
gotta be
explosions.
awesome, right?
I saw them at the Vogue a couple years ago, and that was
awesome, man. Tell me
the
it was
crowd.
good.
I've been in the Vogue for quite a few shows for bands that are
Yeah.
bigger than them. Like I think I saw the Killers there on their Sam's Town tour,
Yeah.
and it wasn't as packed as it was for Explosions in the Sky.
Really?
People were going off. There was
Awesome.
like crowd surfing going on in there and everything. And
They do the traditional come out and say hello or explosions in the sky. and
Yeah,
they just
exactly. And that was it.
nothing.
And then they destroyed
Yeah.
the place. The only show that I think that I would say that was more, because it's funny that you bring that up, because we talk about intensity, live on stage, and we try to keep it really sharp and tight and intense on stage. And one band that I got to see last year or something was Refused at the Vogue Theater. You ever listen to
No,
Refused?
I don't know them. Yeah,
You don't know Refused?
No.
Okay. You will love Refused.
Okay.
They're from Sweden. You know International Noise Conspiracy?
That name I've heard.
Yeah,
but
so the
not-
singer
yeah.
from that band, he was originally in Refused, and they were around in the 90s, and they're very, they're just sharp, tight. They
Okay.
mix in some different influences, like there's some jazz mixed in with some metal, with
Nice.
some, good old rock and some electronic stuff in there too. So
Yeah.
I've kind of always thought of that aesthetic, like I like to keep it simple, but I also want to keep it very interesting for people.
S B S S B S S B S.
I have managed to get out of the studio quite a bit lately and out and around Vancouver, checking out different live shows that have been happening around town. I'll also be heading to the island at the start of this next coming week here to go and check out some of the continual growing pool of talent that area has to offer. So we've seen a lot of shows lately and a ton of energy out there on the Vancouver stage, especially from the rock acts. So I want to show you some footage of what we saw just this past weekend when This Day Burns came over to the mainland and invaded Olympia Pizza in Surrey. Because man, that place tried to do them in through a bunch of technical difficulties. This Day Burns absolutely continued to go out there and kill it. They absolutely just did not quit. So that's always the main thing when you're out there on stage and you get those technical difficulties and things aren't rolling your way. I mean, there's a point where you just got to throw that extra switch, put it in that extra gear, and give it everything you've got. This Day Burns did that. Have a look at him here live at Olympia Pizza on SBS Live this week.
Thank you. Next song, called Gills Chicken.
for you guys too?
Yeah.
Or what do you guys think?
Exactly.
Like,
Well, it sounds like it's
Yeah.
open enough as a rock band that if your electronic influence creeps in a little bit more, that's not going to necessarily be a bad thing. Same thing with your blues influence. That, you know, this is the kind of band that could adapt and change, and the sound could go in a bunch of different ways. Really,
slowly becoming that way. I've had a hard time letting go. Definitely, it's, you know, because this started as a project. It was born out of another project that didn't work out.
Okay.
The song Generator was actually originally called Misled, and it was about a person that I worked with when I was working at Greenhouse Studios.
Okay.
It was about them?
It was the song was kind of about that person. I've now changed the lyrics, and it's not the same anymore.
Right.
But
You recorded
I
it
originally
back then.
wanted to make the band Blackout Lights out of that, and he didn't want to call it that, and it was just this whole thing. So
Right.
it was kind of born out of that, and over the years, you know, that song has morphed and changed, and we still play it live, and it's, you know, it's 7 years old or 6 years old, that song, right?
Yeah.
When you think about it, John's like, oh shit, I'm getting old.
I know that song
yeah.
was all I was thinking about. That
Yeah.
song's gonna be like double digits soon. A few more years.
Yeah, it just means
an
anniversary
adult.
celebration.
S D S
Metal band Aeterna is out in the Vancouver scene right now, and after about a year away from the stage, it is incredible to have them all back, and we are thankful for it. We've already caught them live on stage once in this past month, live at the Zoo in Mission. Then we got to see them at the Red Room in Vancouver. Red Room is a great place. It's an absolutely tight venue, great sound, great atmosphere, and it just lends to a great performance. So take a look at Aeterna live in Vancouver at the Red Room on SBS Live this week.
This is the title song from our EP that you can buy over there. It's called Revive.
break the floor. Break all the rest of her. Kick someone white. It's been a good night. Cold sight. The blood coagulates. On the stage. I know outside. There's just a welcome. Because free of the will. We must rise. No one inside. Take down life. Take my
about some website promo? Where do you guys want people to go and look for your music? Where do they find Blackout Lights on the web? And first of all, keep in mind they haven't updated since September 13th or 18th. It's been a while.
Yeah.
We haven't had any shows since then. We've just been working on songs, but yeah.
I got a bunch of photos actually of that, and then
Let's give Rob his chance to talk. He hasn't.
Yeah.
What do you want me to talk about?
Where can they find our stuff?
What's your website address?
Okay, wait.
Now I'm testing.
TheBlackoutLights.com.
TheBlackoutLights.com.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Verb Nation.
We got
Or
To get our music.
Blackout
Nation's
Lights
garbage.
Well, Verb Nation.
go to Bandcamp. That's where you can find the stuff.
Bandcamp.
Okay. Blackoutlights.bandcamp.com. You can name your price for the MP3s, so you can download it for free.
And also Facebook.
If you want to, contribute to our poor asses, then
No
you can do
MySpace
that.
page yet.
Yeah, we have a MySpace page. It's old.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a MySpace
Is
page.
it relevant though? Like, is MySpace coming back?
No, because now
that's
what
what
they've
I'm
done,
thinking
they've
too,
totally.
They butchered it.
MySpace is
Yeah.
fucked because MySpace made it so that you have to be a member in order to view other people's pages. So
Oh, really?
it's like now it's not open to the public anymore. They totally screwed it up. Yeah.
Brutal.
Yeah, I don't know if Facebook is the future. I don't know what it is, but yeah, you can find our stuff on. We have Facebook.com/blackoutlights too. So.
I remember when I first came to Vancouver, it was like Facebook was still like I think it was just
Relatively new.
yeah, but it was still closed to just universities, and MySpace was the thing.
Yeah.
And
right.
then I read a book like last week before I was on the rise and fall of MySpace, and it was hilarious to relive that moment. And it was just like 3 years ago or something.
Yeah.
3-4 years ago, like where Facebook just took off.
I just think
World
it's
moves so fast.
It does, but I think it
Give it
sucks
3
that,
years and then Facebook.
that
will be out.
Facebook doesn't have. I mean, you have to have like an app
Yeah,
in
adaptable
order to
music
run
players and whatnot.
music on your Facebook page. Why they can't for the band like. Why they can't make it? They obviously know that there's a ton of bands that are out there.
Yeah.
Why they can't make something where it's a special, type of page where there's a player embedded in it,
Well,
so that when they
I mean,
open that Facebook page, it just instantly plays. That was the beauty of MySpace. That was the one thing that
Right.
is really lost on this whole new generation of social media. I think Twitter is an excellent way of communicating, and I think that I like it even better than Facebook personally.
Yeah.
I think keeping it
Oh,
less than 100.
we're also on Twitter too. Obviously.
Yeah, we're on Twitter, yeah. So at @blackout_lights. So
Okay.
you can find us there on Twitter as well. So
I'll tweet
that's where we've got
Well,
most of the updates and things. I actually
Right.
tweeted Sleeping Bag today.
Oh, okay, there we go.
Yeah.
So yeah, Facebook they hit and miss, but Twitter you're all over. You've been
Well,
that's
you
where to
have
find
to
you
wonder.
the most probably.
Like with Facebook, we have what I think like 160 likes or something. Who knows? It's not a very large amount.
Right.
We got about 40 of them in the last while. I paid for some Facebook ads,
Perfect.
but I'm not sure if they're real people.
I
You
can
know
tell
what I
you
mean?
about that. Yeah.
Like they might be fake Facebook profiles. I don't know. I go looking around in them,
Yeah.
and it's like I don't know if this is a real person, right? So
Did we talk about that at all?
I don't think so, but we could chat about that at length. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's,
So do you have a lot of fake likes or what?
No, they did a study probably about, I think it was maybe 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And they basically ran a completely blank white ad, nothing on it, just in the space.
and it got
And
likes.
it came out as like 0.3% below what the most, what the average person would get during a click campaign.
Really?
So yeah, they basically got accused, and I think that was right around when they first saw their stocks starting to dip, was right around that kind of time.
Yeah, a friend of mine actually, he's like doing a PhD at UBC in information security, and he published a study. They went to like Hot or Not, and then they got like girls' photos that were like a 9 out of 10, and then make fake profiles. You can get fake profiles made in Asia for like I think like a few cents per profile, like they'll just manually make a profile.
Yeah.
And so they made like 10,000 profiles, and then they
Like
they just
sweatshops
friended.
or profiles.
Yeah. He's like, you'd be amazed.
It's got like Facebook. And
Anything,
Coffee
yeah.
all over the place.
Anything manual that you need, like, nothing is done like with like where like complex computer programs, whatever. They just send it off to Asia and just everything's manual. So anyways, yeah, then they just had like friended random like people, and he said once you get to, I think 3 or 4 friends in common, people will automatically friend you at 100% of the time. Anyway, so they were able to just like get crazy amounts of data.
Massive
And then
chains
it was like UBC was part of his PhD, so then they got sued by Facebook, and then because then it came out in the news. It was like all over the news actually for a while.
Right.
Yeah.
It was hilarious. But basically said like a ton of stuff is fake there.
Well, and you know what? There is a ton. But the weird shit is that going back to lazy promoters.
Yeah.
They ask you for those numbers.
Yeah.
And they don't look at the pages of all these people.
Right.
They just want to know what the hard fact is. You've got 3,000 likes or whatever it is.
When I first came here,
And it might not mean anything,
Exactly.
right? A lot of those online contests that they do, right, where they get likes. I think there was the Squamish Festival one they had in the summer where you got people to listen to your song and they'd vote on it, right?
Oh, okay,
Whoever
yeah.
the most votes actually got to play at the Squamish Festival,
Right.
which is pretty cool. Like Queens of Stone Age just played this year,
Yeah,
so
that'd be rad.
would have been a great gig, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, we went on it and we got a decent amount. I think we got like 50 people to vote for our song. And
Right.
I mean, I think 30 of those were people we didn't even know, right? So
Perfect,
you know,
right,
that's good that at least with those type of contests, some people hear your stuff that maybe don't know it. And I do find that all of a sudden there's just randomly people following us on Twitter.
Yeah.
I don't know where that comes from. I don't know how. But we're
Spam
okay with
bots.
that,
Take
you know.
it, yeah.
We'll take it.
You know,
When I first
somebody
came to,
out there's clicking that button, and
once
that
in a while.
somebody is seeing your music each time, right?
When I first came to Vancouver, I was like working with a band, and they had some like they were on MySpace because it was like pre-Facebook, and they were pre-popular Facebook, and they were like they had 40,000 friends, or whatever it was. Was it friends on MySpace?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Most
so you have
friends.
friends, yeah.
And it was that like 40,000, and they were I think one of the top 10 in Canada in terms of like MySpace friends. And they went across Canada twice, played to empty places.
Yeah, came back
Like
almost
40,000
broke,
friends, and they had like nobody came out.
Nobody came out.
Yeah.
So it's like it just shows like I mean, and they would play like
It's a tougher thing because
Yeah.
those 40,000 friends are becoming more and more spread out as to where they exist.
well, then they probably weren't even real. It's probably just people. Yeah.
Yeah, could be that. As
We're
well,
not,
right?
yeah, like we're not sure what the solution is, right? You know, like we thought about going on tours.
It's not pay to
Blackout
play;
Lights.
it's pay to watch. I pay you to
Yeah,
watch.
Yeah.
we want to get our stuff out there to people that'll like it, but you
It's
know,
the opposite of a strip joint. You pay to watch them. No,
Yeah, it's
you
a
pay
tough
them
game.
to watch you.
yeah, exactly, right? You know, it's like, you know, you want to try to get as many people as you can to come out. There's only so many times that you can convince your friends to come out.
Yeah.
And personally, I don't really even want my friends to come out anymore.
Fun
I'd
friends.
rather have
Right.
people come out that really are into the. I mean, I'm sure some of my friends dig the music, but you know, all your friends don't love your band, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know, you
My
want
wife doesn't
people.
like my music, man. It's all
Oh
good.
man.
Yeah, there you go. So you know,
I drag my wife out to like one show every like 4 years or something.
yeah, but you
And
brought
then
your
she was
wife and her brother-in-law
Brother-in-law,
out
yeah,
that one time.
they
And I
were not
swear
happy.
he did not look happy out in the
Yeah.
audience.
like, not even
I don't think he listened to very loud music very much.
No.
So.
But yeah,
That's
I know
pretty
what you
funny.
mean. It is tough to continually ask for that. I don't have an answer either. You know,
Yeah.
like, the way that I'm
Something's
looking
got to
at that
give
now.
soon, though. You know.
Well, I think something has in a way. I think the only way that it does get done now is that viral aspect, right?
Yeah.
Getting
you know,
stuff out on the net.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I don't know what that requires you to do to become that viral hit, right? You know, whether it's running naked down the street or hanging yourself from a telephone pole and swinging
that
around or
publicity.
whatever it is.
Well, people
yeah.
try to come up with
Exactly,
the,
right.
the new publicity stunt, whatever it could be, to
Yeah.
make something go viral, right?
Well, I've been flipping it to bands lately and saying, like, you know, think about, like, how do you find your own entertainment? You know, and for,
Well, I
for
think
most
what-
of us, it's all online.
It is, and I think that the stuff that goes most viral is funny.
Yeah, I completely agree.
So I think that what we need to
Completely
do is come up with something funny.
agree. Yeah.
We're just not that funny guys, unfortunately.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah, actually, you've got some.
Weird
Yeah.
that line makes us all laugh.
Yeah, yeah,
All right, that's the soundbite. I'm liking that.
yeah.
Blackout Lights, I want to thank you guys very much for being here. I want to provide you with the traditional open floor if there's anything I didn't cover that you want to say or anybody you want to shout out or anything else that you want to pass on to the crowd out there. My 5 people out there on internet land. Anything at all.
Yeah, check us out. Hope you.
You know, I want to thank Jeffrey here from Sleeping Bags
Yeah,
Studios
totally. Thanks, you guys.
for like
Cool.
for inviting us out.
That's
This is really
Jeremy.
nice.
Not Jeffrey.
I'll take either, as long as it's
I
not
should
Hey
think Jeffrey
Shithead,
because
I'm all
like
good, yeah.
nobody's afraid of a Jeffrey, right?
Yeah.
Who's afraid of
Jeremy. What? Nobody's afraid of Jeffrey. That's it. But Jeremy like Pearl Jam.
Oh, right.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Talking
right.
about it.
Jeffrey's spoken in class today.
Yeah, right.
That's how
End of the drama.
That's right. And thanks to Tyler Hutton for manning
man.
the camera out there.
Yep. Happy to be here.
Yeah, Blackout Lights, you're going to play us some songs before you go, right?
You got it.
Excellent. Thank you very much
Right.
once again for being here. We'll
you.
set you guys up, let you rock.
All right.
Sounds good.
Now, through part 1 and part 2, you've already noticed that we asked Blackout Lights to come by and do SBS Live this week. In fact, we were harassing them for some time before we got them here in the studio. And the performances, man, they paid off big time. And one of the things lead singer Steve and I talked about just prior to them coming here was our mutual love of Nirvana. So as a special favor and request to me, and one that paid off big time, take a look at Blackout Lights cover Aneurysm by Nirvana here on SBS Live this week. Once again, just like to say a tremendous thank you to Steve, Jon, and Rob of Blackout Lights for being with us here in the studio for SBS Live this week over this past 3 parts. Definitely feel like I've gotten to know you guys quite well at this point. I mean, we've just spent so much time together. And Steve, for what it's worth, I was heavily bearded then, but not so much anymore. But if you take a closer look, man, I'm catching up to you already. It's not going to take too long, so I'll be coming. Get your beard on. Blackout Lights, again, thank you very much for being here. Also want to thank This Day Burns for putting on a kick-ass show just the other day. And of course to Aeterna for always putting on an amazing show from their footage at the Red Room there. Because let's face it, if you've seen them both on our show, Aeterna and This Day Burns, amazing live music is what we've come to expect from both of those bands. So thank you very much for being a part of the show today. We will be back soon with the band Closer as well in a 3-part special once again to start off our 2014. So before we sign off for the day, I want to show you one final video. We played kind of the beginning of it in part 1. We played Art Hannibal's video for Wake Up, which was created to raise awareness for all kinds of issues that are plaguing global communities today. Based around and inspired by several of his experiences with domestic violence, Art Hannibal continues to raise awareness with his video campaign for Wake Up. So to take us out for the day, we're going to show you the information video with all kinds of numbers that you can call if you're experiencing domestic violence. Or if you know anybody else that is, guess what? Same numbers. Okay, that's it. We will see you next time on SBS Live this week with noise rock specialists from Vancouver, Closer. But for now, here's the information video from Art Hannibal for Wake Up on SBS Live this week. We'll see you next time.
Once in a while I could wake up, find you lying there, touching me
Yeah, I don't know what to say. Words fail me. Hey, this is heartfelt, man. Hey, this is truly from the heart. Yeah, every time I do this song, I relive these moments. I don't even know where to start, man. Yeah, let's go. My ability to see things, some call it intuition. We both staring at the world, but perhaps I see it different. That's my definition I use to describe sight with no vision. Pray to God I take these lyrics in. May the pain that I feel be the paint that I use to portray this picture. If he truly, really loved you, I promise he wouldn't hit you. You waiting for him to change like a train coming to get you. Yeah, we all got some problems, but he got some serious issues. You should leave if he put his hands on you. He shouldn't be with you. But in Elkie Shay's case, I admire her. She's strong. Murdered at 24, but her presence will always live on. I'm feeling weird. I don't really know what it is. Ever since I heard about this girl known as Ro Tillman, strangled to death by her boyfriend, left her family a mess. Depressed, I know they must be angry, cause I'm upset. Like, how could this happen? She was 19 years young, and my sister went to school with her. How I'm supposed to respond? She asking me questions, my answers just don't seem to impress her. She start crying, tears falling, my eyes swell up. I got this deer in the headlight look, cause I don't know what to tell her. Refuse to be silent. I grew up in an abusive household, and as a child I was introduced to domestic violence. I remember placing my hands over my ears so I couldn't hear my parents fight, and I've been traumatized for years. Who would've thought that love could be so dangerous? If you in an abusive relationship, girl, you better wake up and take care of yourself. Pac said keep your head up. I'm just telling you, lift your face up. You got something called inner beauty. Girl, you beautiful, and it ain't got nothing to do with your makeup. Just thought that you should know that. When these emotions get the best of me, it's hard for me to hold back.
Who's to say that your boyfriend won't? Who's to say that they won't?
I don't know what to say.
These girls.
Words fail me. Hey, this is heartfelt, man. This is This is ridiculous, man. Hey, would you do your mother like you do her?
Who's to
You
say?
treat your mother the way you treat her?
To say.
Yeah, man. Yeah, this is dedicated to anyone who's ever been in an abusive relationship, domestic violence, abusive household. I'm with you. I feel you. Yeah, I grew up in that.
Who's to say that their boyfriend won't? Who's to say that they won't kill these
Hey,
girls?
y'all gotta wake up, man.
These are young
Y'all gotta wake
girls,
up.
and I
Hey,
cannot.
this is crazy.
I just didn't realize how much of an impact I had on these girls' lives until that happened. It was a wake-up call. It was a wake-up call for me. Big time.